Welcome to my channel, dear creative. So in today's tutorial we'll be learning how to draft these beautiful sleeves, right? Okay, as you can see, the sleeves are attached to a bustier. Okay, and if you watch carefully, you will notice that they are off the shoulder sleeves, also draped. So what you need in this tutorial is your basic bodice, or let me say your bustier back and front patterns, and your basic sleeve pattern, which I already have here. Can you see my basic bodice here has been converted to a bustier, just like the one you see on the screen here. Okay, in case you don't know how to draft a bustier, I'll be dropping the link to the bustier video. You learn how to draft a bustier so that you can continue from here, right? So as it is, I've already drafted my bustier. I've drafted the back and the front. Look at the back and look at the front, and here with me I have my sleeve pattern. So without talking too much, let's start the tutorial. The bustier on the screen, you can see that what I drafted here corresponds. This part is the mesh, where you'll be using mesh, and the bustier comes like this. From here, the sleeve is being attached right to somewhere around here. We can say from the shoulder tip you measure about 1.5 inches down like this. Okay, can you see? So that's how the bustier sleeve is attached. So having seen that, let's start. What we have to do here, first of all, we need a new pattern paper, a very fresh pattern paper will be laid underneath the patterns. Here I've placed another pattern paper underneath, together like this. What you want to do is to measure for the front. I measure 1.5 inches down and mark. For the back, I'll measure 2.5 inches down and mark. Okay, and now we'll be linking this. We'll be linking this nicely to the neckline area. But before we do that, let's close the darts. I'll be closing this dart. If you watch the bustier video, you know how to close a dart. Before you close any darts, you have to open another dart. So I'll simply open the waist dart and close this overbust dart. And here I have closed the darts. Okay, the overbust tightening. Let's shift it. Can you see? So after closing the overbust tightening points, look at our bustier. It comes like this to the armhole. Now for the sleeve, it comes this way. Okay, at this point you can use your curve or your straight ruler to link. Can you see this? So this is how the sleeve comes. And now let's place our basic sleeve and also do some alterations. For the basic sleeve, remember this part is our front part. Okay, here divides the back and the front. From here you measure 1.5 inches towards this side. Okay, and then down 1.5. Can you see? So this is what you are to cut out. Then on this side you measure 2.5, just like we measured 2.5, and then you link like this. So we are cutting off that part. Okay, so after measuring it like that, we cut it off. So now that we have cut it off, let's start from the front to create our new sleeve. Okay, now we have gotten where we are taking off from the original sleeve. So let's place it like this. Mind you, we went down from here by 1.5 inches, so we are trying to get the front sleeve. So let's hold it in place and then trace out the front. Use your tracing wheel and trace out. We are to create a new sleeve entirely. Okay, can you see? So we have our front there. Okay, now for the back, from the midpoint. Okay, if you can remember, from this midpoint to this point was 2.5, so which corresponds to from here to here, right? So you just place here like this on this point, and then you trace out. trace out just nicely like this, okay, and like this, just exactly how you want to attach it to your dress. Okay, I'll be working with this. This is what I just did now, and then on this side too, the same thing. So at this point, we can keep tracing out our sleeve to get an entirely new sleeve. Okay, so having done that, we can now remove the bustier patterns and re-emphasize our sleeve. Can you see? This is what we are having. I just hope you can see clearly what we just traced out. So at this point, we have to re-emphasize what we just traced. And now our sleeve pattern is ready. I call the sleeve off-shoulder raglan. I don't know the best name for it. So I will cut out this. So we continue to manipulate, right? Still have further work to do on this sleeve. And here I've cut out our new sleeve. Mind you, you need to label. Here is our back and here is our front. Okay, so you bear in mind while you continue to work with the sleeve. So now we'll be doing further alterations. If you take a look at the sleeve, especially at the beginning area, you can notice that there's something like a band and it's a bit wide. So we need to manipulate this sleeve. We need to make it wider by applying the slash and spread method. Okay, so we need to slash through the midpoints like this down. Okay, so just watch me slash it. Can you see? So we'll spread it out according to how you want it to appear. If you take a look at the dress on the model, notice that that part is a little bit wide and it looks really nice. Another pattern paper underneath, and then we get our slashed pattern. And here I've placed another pattern paper. I'm finally making it to be 4 inches wide. Okay, cut off the excess and unwanted paper. Okay, so this is the pattern I'll be working with. We'll still go further and manipulate this because, as you can see, the sleeve is more or less like a double sleeve. For this particular one, we're almost done. Okay, I can say we are done. Then for the second one, we are done in the sense that we just need to carve out a band for the upper part. Okay, of which you can just leave it like this, transfer to fabric, and then fix a crinoline to give you that band effect. Then we have a second layer, which is the draped part and the manipulated fabric parts. So for the second layer, there's a fabric manipulation by the side where a black fabric is used, and then the middle part there are drapes. So that's what we want to create now. We'll duplicate this and then work on the duplicated copy to create the second effect. And now we have duplicated our pattern. Can you see? So we'll be working on this. We'll be using this to form the drapes, okay, by doing fabric manipulation and slash and spread. Then for this is what we'll be using for the foundation. And if you notice well, if you watch well, you notice that there is a band of about 2 inches there. So we'll measure 2 inches. I'm just using my ruler to get that measurement, 2 inches all around. Okay, you have to measure 2 inches all around. You can decide to cut this off on your pattern paper, then you join it later. Join it later during your sewing process, or you can decide to just leave it like this, gauge it, then cut out your fabric and fix your crinoline of 2 inches, okay, on it. But for me, to be very accurate, I'll be cutting this off. During our transfer to fabric, I'll cut this off and then I show you the process of transferring it to fabric and then sewing the sleeve. But for now, let's continue with the drafting by manipulating the draped pattern, right? So let's place this aside. So for this, first of all, we want to do our fabric manipulation. If you take a look at the side of the sleeve, you notice that it is black. It is not Ankara fabric that is used there, and that takes about 2 inches. So you will measure 2 inches and just cut it off like that, okay? I'm still using my ruler. This ruler is from here to here is 1 inch, from here to here is another 1 inch, so the entire ruler is 2 inches. So I'm just placing it to take that measurement, so that you won't be surprised why I'm not measuring with my tape, right? Then also, mind you, this is the front, right? F, so you remember this is the front, back, okay? So for the back, the same way, I'm using the ruler. If you are using your ruler, make sure to observe the curves and place your ruler accordingly, okay? That's what I'm doing. So, and now I've cut out the part to be using black on. This is the front and this is the back, so we'll put them aside while we work on these parts. The sleeve properly, you will notice that this and this are like this, right? But the drapes did not start from the beginning. They started after the band, okay? Just not exactly after the band, but like 1 inch, covering the band with about 1 inch, okay? So that means we have to trim off 1 inch from these parts and 1 inch from these parts to get it perfectly. So I'll simply measure 1 inch from here and trim off before we start inserting our drapes, okay? 1 inch here and 1 inch from here, like this, okay? So I'll be cutting off that smoothly like this, and then like this. Can you see what we have now? So this is what we have at our disposal. Now we'll be inserting slash lines, okay? We'll be inserting slash lines here in no particular order, but I'll just be giving about a space of 1 inch. And now I'm done inserting my slash lines. So what I'll simply do is to place another pattern paper underneath this and start slashing and spreading out, okay? And now I have placed, so I will just start slashing and spreading. For here, and just give a curve, okay? Can you see this? So I'll place it like this, and then the next one too. I'll just be placing them like that. I think the slash lines are too close, so I won't be following exactly. Spread them across, okay? So I'll just slash and spread all across using my masking tape to tape it down, so I can trace out and cut out the new sloper. And now we are done spreading it out, okay? So what we want to do now is just simply follow the pattern and cut it out. But instead of wasting my time trying to draw it out, I'll just follow how it is and cut it out. So just watch me cut. It's okay. You just take it straight away, okay? I almost made a mistake here. Straight, so it should go straight. You don't follow this pattern here. You just cut it straight from here to here, okay? So this is what we'll be transferring to our fabric, exactly like this, to get our drapes. Now after draping, we'll ensure that we'll be draping them to this length, right? We'll drape them till they get to this length. As we already know, we have our foundation pattern to guide us as per how our draping will look like. Okay, so this is it for the foundation pattern. This one is here, and mind you, we cut off 1 inch from the part we are draping. So this is here. That means we'll drape it to the point that it will be 1 inch, just 1 inch longer than this, 1 inch longer than this. Okay, so by the time we transfer to fabric, this will be explained better. For now, this is the pattern we'll be working with. Here is our foundation, here is the part we'll be draping, and then these are the parts we'll be cutting out on a black fabric. So next, we'll be transferring our patterns to fabric and then sewing the sleeve for you to see exactly how it will look. Please subscribe to the channel and ensure to turn on your notification bell. Welcome back once again. Here we have transferred to fabric. This is our base pattern. If you can remember, this was together like this. Okay, and I have to cut it out because this will be used as a band where a 2 inches crinoline will be fixed. Okay, so as earlier said, I've cut it out, and I cut out this in twos so that I'll be able to fix and conceal the crinoline. And then this also I've cut out on the fabric. I gave half an inch allowance all around. Okay, I would have given 1 inch allowance by the side, but it didn't occur to me while cutting. So if you are doing yours, give 1 inch allowance, normal allowance for the side of a sleeve, right? Okay, so I'm done with this. Then also for the part I'll be draping, I've also cut it out on fabric, and we have it here like this. So I used half an inch allowance all through. Then these are the parts that I was able to cut out with my black fabric. Okay, so this is it. And now I can carefully remove the patterns. We'll still be making reference to the patterns, so I will not be keeping them far. Can you see? So what I'll do, I'll be draping this, okay, to the size of this. Then I'll place it on our foundation. Okay, on our foundation. So in the next tutorial, I'll be showing you how I'll be finishing up the crinoline. Okay, this band using the 2 inches crinoline. Welcome back, dear creatives. As you can see, I've inserted my ruffles. It's just easy. You just split your fabric. Okay, you know this fabric was very long because of the pattern we were able to manipulate with our slash and spread. Okay, so you just insert your drapes. You can ruffle with your needle and thread. You can decide to pleat. So I pleated mine. Can you see? So after pleating the ruffles, I also attached the black part to each side. You know how it got to this point. So this is what I've done. And then for the other parts, take a look at it. Take a look at the fabric we got. So this is what we have. I still remember my back and front. Here is the front, here is the back. So this is what we have. And also I went ahead to cut out a lining for this part. Remember, we'll be inserting a crinoline here. Now for the crinoline, I'll be using this 2 inches crinoline. Okay, can you see? So you can use any one of your choice. The point is the effect you want to bring out that actually matters. Even for the drapes, you can decide to make the drapes fuller than that. That means you have to slash and spread it wider. So it's all your choice, it's creativity. So for this crinoline, I'm using 2 inches. This is how I will do it. I'll just place it here, okay, and sew it. Sew the crinoline on the fabric, crinoline to the lining. As you can see, I only stitched on the upper part. I left this part open. This is so that after it has been attached to the sleeve, the bouncing effects, okay, this effect of the crinoline, the bouncing effect will be retained. Okay, so I'm not stitching the crinoline on this side, right? Now at this point, it's time to stitch the lining and the fabric together. So I'll just place it right side facing each other like this. go over to the machine and stitch very close to the crinoline, okay, making sure I'm not stitching on the crinoline. Now I've stitched to the end, okay. So let's check what we are having first. Can you see? Okay, so now what we will simply do, we will just trim off the excess, okay, just trim off the excess. So I'm simply clipping. I'll clip all through, then I'll open up to see what we have got to ensure a relaxed neckline. Okay, I've clipped enough, cut off excess thread, and now we are having this. So by the time we flip over, this is what we'll be having, okay. You can see the bouncy effect of the crinoline here. So what I'll do now, I'll just go over to my ironing table and press nicely. We've also ironed. So what I want to do now is to attach this part to this part, okay. I'll just simply go ahead and attach like this, okay. I'll just sew down all through. I'll go over to my machine and sew, and then you see the results. And now I'm done attaching, and as you can see, the bouncy effect of the crinoline is retained. Can you see? Okay, so at this point we'll be attaching the other part of the sleeve, the draped parts, okay. So this is it. We'll attach it like this. If you notice in the picture, the drape part did not start from the edge, okay, where the crinoline started from. So this is, we are in order, we are just in order. Can you see? This is how we attach it. So I'll go over to my machine and run stitches, ensuring that the both parts are attached together. Welcome back, dear creatives. As you can see, I'm done attaching and our sleeve is ready. Can you see? Can you see the effects? So this is exactly how that sleeve is. Here is our front, here is our back. So this part will be attached to the front of our bustier, okay. So let's assume this is it. We attach it to the front of our bustier. Then this is how our sleeve will look like. So take a look at what we have on the screen. This is exactly what we have. To demonstrate it a bit further so that you get a better understanding, this is the bustier, okay, that we used for the demonstration earlier on. So let's now cut it out, okay. Let's cut it out as a bustier. Tape it down as if we have made a part of it so that you can understand. I'm simply cutting out the bustier. It's very easy. We are not using the yoke, so we are cutting out like this, okay. This is one side. We'll be closing the bust darts, and then this is the other side of the bustier. This is the other side of the bustier, and as you already know, okay, this is also a dart. Let's take it off. At this point, we are to just close the darts to pretend as if we are sewing it, okay. Let's just sew so that at the end of the day we'll check out how the real bustier will look like, okay, on our body. You already know how to do a bustier, so this is just to show how the sleeve will appear, okay, when it is being attached to a bustier. So I'm simply joining them together. We are done sewing our bustier. This is the illusion, as you know. Let's close this part very well. So now for our illusion, take a look at the screen. The illusion did not get to the upper bust area, so I marked this point where our illusion will start from, okay. So this is it, and our sleeve will be attached from here, okay. Let me close this part also very nicely. Okay, so our sleeve will be attached from here. Can you see? Can you see the beautiful effects? It's so pretty. This is one part. On the other part too, already you know the illusion's parts will be cut off and cut out on fold, okay. This side will be cut out on fold, so this part will be having exactly this on this side, and then our bustier with a beautiful sleeve is ready. If you are yet to subscribe to our channel, please go ahead and click on the subscribe button. I'm begging, please just do it for me. Do it for me so that I'll be encouraged to post more interesting and educative sewing tutorials, okay, and fashion designing in general. The already existing subscribers, I say a very big thank you to you guys. I'm really appreciative. You are the ones that have made me strong and have given me the spirit to continue making free trainings. Okay, thank you for subscribing. Okay, so this is how it will look like. We'll be attaching this to this part like this. Very simple. Look at it. And then also note that for the bustier, you do a little of fabric manipulation. After this, you need to cut off this part. Okay, this upper part of the bustier. Let me demonstrate with my marker pen. So after you build up the bustier on the paper like this, you just mark out about 2 inches or 2.5 inches. I think 2.5 inches will do a better job. You mark out 2.5 inches like this, okay, and then you cut out. By the time you cut out, you'll be tracing this part out on a black fabric, okay. So this part should be on a black fabric, right? So by the time you cut this on a black fabric and you attach to the sleeve like this, what you are seeing on the screen, that effect there is what you have here, okay. So the sleeve will look like just one complete sleeve. I hope you have learned something. Please subscribe, like and share this video. Thanks for watching.